Ida Zetterstrom, top fuel pilot, European top fuel champion, joining us here in the Freak Nation. And when we were interviewing Erica, we heard a lot of the top fuel cars warming up. Warming the car up 10 years ago is much different than what you do now. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, you heard everybody do the throttle wax, and they actually served a purpose back then. You know, you set the clutch, and like we have moved away from that. We don't need that anymore. You do have some teams that still does it, and I mean, I love to hear it. So when I see teams that do it, I know that like Alexis to Georgia, they still do it. That's awesome. Okay. So it's cool that some people still do it, but for now, we don't need to do it anymore, and it can be something that, you know, can be more hurtful than it helps. But for the fans, it's fantastic.
Everybody in here jumped when somebody did seat the clutch. So what is the point? Is it just for the fans? Because like you said, there's a risk involved in going that far in your warm-up as well.
I would say doing it right now, at this day and age, and with the parts we have now, yes, it's for the fans. It's because you love it and you're keeping it as a tradition. And I know, like when I talked to Alexis about it before, she said, getting to do the long burnouts and do the throttle wax in the warm-up, that's one of the things she loves about it. And yes, but definitely when you hear him do that, understand that that's for you guys.
Ida Zetterstrom joining us here in the Freak Nation, top fuel pilot. Is there a regimen that you have? Like if you don't put your left sock on before your right sock, are you pissed off for the rest of the day? Do you lose the race? Do you have a crappy day? What's your regimen to get ready?
I don't have that. So I actually do put, you know, one sock on before the other, one shoe on, but no, it's more of a routine, you know, always doing it the same thing, because I do believe that, you know, if you have a routine and you follow that, it does help you, you know, keeping, you know, not forgetting anything basically. But I'm not one to be like, if I don't wear these type of shoes or if I don't wear this sock or whatever, something's gonna happen. And I will say that a few years back when I raced the super street bike, for a whole year, I had a necklace on. Like, I had a necklace on when I drove. And for some reason, we were at the last event of the year. It was a test session. I sat in the staging lanes, and I noticed that I had taken it off. Like, I didn't have it on. And I was like, not a big deal. But then it started kind of getting in my head, and I asked my mom, I was like, could you go and get that necklace that I usually always wear? So she went and got it. I put it on. I was like, ooh, feels good now. Yeah, I crashed in 200 miles per hour, sliding on my stomach the whole way down. And I was like, that necklace did nothing. So after that, I don't believe in that. I'm like, things happen, and you know, you make your own luck. And it's like, if you have that necklace on, or if you all of a sudden your favorite pair of socks get you know, shrunk in the washer and you can't use them, I don't think that matters. I actually don't. So I'm trying to never let anything like that get in my head, where it's like, if I don't have this, or if I don't, you know, get a fist bump from this person before I get in the car, I'm not gonna be able to win this race or so on, because it takes over your head. So in my mind, I don't want to have any routines where I might screw myself up and feel like I'm not in the best position to win if I don't do it a certain way. So yeah.
Superstitions, anything mental. I mean, racing is a mental sport in general. So yeah, the less amount of superstitions or things like that you can have, the better. What has changed for you? You've been in the sport all year, but you made your debut at Brainerd. What has changed for you inside the cockpit since you got in the car in Brainerd through now?
Oh, a whole lot. I feel like every time I'm in the car over here, there's something new, because obviously most of the teams out here, they're seasoned drivers over here. You know, every track they come to, they've usually already been to it before. You might make changes to your car or so on, but overall, they might be very comfortable in their cars by now. While we haven't had as much testing and as much runs as anyone else, when we came in, everybody had 12 races to, you know, get their stuff together and figure everything out. And we hadn't, so we are basically still testing things. So there's been several events. For example, in Brainerd, I felt great in the car, but there were some things that we noticed that, like, this doesn't work perfectly, we should change it. By changing it, we couldn't go testing in between there and when we were actually going to try it out in Indy. Coming into Indy, I had certain things in the car that didn't work at all like it should be before, and it made me feel, you know, not as comfortable as I did before, because all of a sudden my routine got thrown off and I had to like relearn to do things a different way that didn't benefit me. And it takes away a bit of your confidence, you know, when that happens. And then we changed it again to the next race to try and make it better, and it got a little bit better, but it still wasn't perfect. Changed it again coming into Charlotte. yes, that thing felt great. Like then we had, yes, now the car feels great, but now you're already changed up your routine on how you're driving several times and trying to get back to, you know, that same feeling I had in Brainerd. So, or in Braden, yeah, in Brainerd. so, so yeah, there's, for us, in the situation we are now and still testing stuff, there's actually a whole lot going on in the car that I don't usually talk about, you know, outside. People think that it always feels the same every time you jump in the car, but getting that feeling of, you know, everything always feels the same when you jump in and you're doing it the same every time, that comes with more runs. I mean, we have about 30 runs right now on this car, and that is not a lot. So, and coming into Brainerd, we only had 10.
But that was your mentality coming into Brainerd, was that the rest of the season would be a, let's get used to everything. Next year's the real deal.
Absolutely, because obviously we can't chase a championship this year. Since we came out, you know, 2 races before the championship, clocks kind of were reset. We didn't have a chance to be in the hunt for it. So we know that everything we do now is preparing us for next year. Obviously, we still want to come out and, you know, run quick and definitely qualify top half of the field. We want to win races and we want to be, you know, an upset to this championship hunt for other people, basically. But obviously having in the back of our minds that everything we're doing now and all the changes we're making is taking steps towards getting all that consistency and the program running exactly like we want, so that when we come out next year, we're going to feel so confident and knowing that what we have built up will be a championship contender. That's what we want. You know.
Ida, we asked Erica this question. Your favorite curse word, whether it's at yourself, the car, your PR person, your crew chief, what's your favorite curse word? You don't have to say it in front of this young crowd, but you can give us an example. You can edit it a little bit. What is it? And why? And when do you drop it?
Yeah, I might drop some F-bombs in the car if I screw up. I don't, you know, I don't do that towards my team, but I do it towards myself. So if you were to get a hold of my GoPro videos, the in-car ones, you will see me, you know, punching my leg and screaming in the car before I get out, trying to get it out there so, like, Daniel doesn't get to take all of it when I come out. Like, I'm trying to shake it up, you know, so that they don't have to deal with it. Obviously, we have a lot of Swedish curse words that I can throw them out here because nobody knows about that.
Go
so that can be a good
No,
thing,
carry on.
so.
No.
Teach us some new lingo.
Yeah, the first fine from the NHRA to Ida Zetterstrom dropping Swedish curse bombs.
That's only Formula One.
$50,000.
Formula One's the only series low enough to fine people for their language.
Well, okay, when you drop the F bomb, is it F me, F you, F that, F this? What is it?
Yes. It depends what I did. It's been a lot of F me lately. I've been annoyed at, but
it's part of learning. Come on, give yourself some credit there. You are a champion. It's just different sometimes on the other side of the pond.
Absolutely, and I know all of that. And, you know, coming back and sitting down, I know that it's all part of learning. It's just that when it happens, that exact moment, that is not what you're like, that was a learning stuff. I'm so happy I learned that. Like, you have to give yourself some time before you settle into that. So, and I mean, I've had times where I have done stuff where I'm like, I'm asking myself, what was that? What did you do? Like, I don't know. Like, it's, but no, it's obviously there is a lot of pressure being out here, and I do know what I can do, and I think that is the hardest part for me, because I know sometimes when I do something, I know I can do better. And I think in the situations I've been in the past, when you are a complete rookie and you don't know it, you don't get as mad about it on yourself, because you are like, okay, I don't know, I don't know better right now. You know, you're learning and you see all your progress all the time. But when you know that you can do it better, that's when it annoys me, because I know that, like, I'm better than this. So let's not do that again. You know, you need to. I have a certain level that I want to keep, and that's usually when I get the most mad at myself. It's different when there's, you know, first time something happens and you're like, oh, I did not know that should feel like that, or that would happen here, or whatever. I have an easier time swallowing it. But if it's me messing up on something that I know I can do better, that's usually what eats me up the most, you know.
Ida, there's not another motorsport out there. For instance, we're going to have 4 girls up here, 4 women up here. Erica, Alexis are supposed to be here, you, and Leah Pruitt. There's not a motorsports on the planet where we can have 4 championship winning drivers up on stage with us, on top of this new protocol that the women of the NHRA, Leah Pruitt spearheading it, were established this pregnancy protocol. Congratulations on that. And what does that mean for, frankly, female drivers in the sport?
I mean, obviously, it is a great thing for the female drivers. Like, if you want to start a family, I have seen, you know, the way Leah has had to go through it, where you have had to step out of the seat a long time before you're actually pregnant because you're preparing for it, and also the way that, you know, not knowing when it's going to happen, but you don't want to put your guys in a situation where if you have to step out mid-season, they would lose the points. So obviously, it's a help for the women that wants to start a family, but I think it's so much more than that. I think it's a big thing for the teams. I mean, that is where I see it the most. Like, this is not just something that's going to gain, you know, that's good for the women. It's good for the teams, like for the guys working on the car, for the team owners, all that. Because all of a sudden, it's like, say you're working with a girl and she has to step out mid-season and you are leading the championship, and you have to give all that up. Who is the one that, you know, takes the biggest hit for it? It's the crew guys that's been working the whole year to building that up. Those are the guys that are gonna take the huge hit for that, like losing all of that. And obviously the drivers too, but I mean, we're all a team in it.
Sponsors as well.
Exactly. So with that, the team can keep the points, and obviously for team owners, that is also a great thing, just knowing that there is that security. But also, just like you mentioned, with sponsors. So one thing, it is good with sponsors, the sponsors you already have, because you can be in a discussion with them and pick out a driver, a substitute driver together with them. But also for what I was the first thing I thought about when we read about this, I have actually been in situations when you're talking to a big company and you want to sign a 3-year deal, and they say, we don't think we dare to sign a 3-year deal with you because you're a woman in your 30s. What if you want to start a family? And I mean, it is, in a way, it's a valid question for them to be like, if we are investing all of this, will you be, you know, sticking around? But this would be something where we can say, like, hey, the good thing with NHRA is that we don't have to decide that right now. Like, if something were to happen and someone wants to start a family, we will make sure that we together decide on a driver that's going to come in that will take care of this contract and that can drive. So I think that this is great for all the companies that wants to sponsor drivers and teams in NHRA, because it doesn't matter if it's a girl driving or a guy driving. They know that if they are in this sport, they're going to get the most out of it. And the same for of course, drivers and team owners and team overall. But I think for the sport in general, it's a good thing, because it's something that you can use in so many different aspects of it, basically.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
Now through the end of October, buy 4 qualifying SUV or light truck tires and get up to $100 back with a Visa prepaid card. Need more information? Go to the website, GeneralTire.com. That's GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire for SpeedFreaks for the last 2 decades.
Rev up your passion for speed. MAV TV Go is the ultimate streaming app for race fans.
Oh, man!
MAV TV Go, your global home of motorsports, now on the go. Download the app now.
Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Go to WWTRaceway.com.
Looking for power to spare? Count on an FVP battery. FVP. Verified, proven.